if you write something or you're creative, you write them or you call them. You call the producer of a television show and you say, hey, this is who I am. Would your viewers be interested in this? And the same for you write the magazine articles, or the magazine editors, and or call them. That's all you do.
Hi, and welcome to Kelly, where we talk about life, your life and my life. And today we're going to talk about Amy's life. Amy Lyle wrote a book called The Book of Failures.
Yes.
So I'm going to read the opening because I love it.
Thank you.
Many stories in this book are true, but some are also lies.
Yes.
And then you open the book and you say, I've been married 20 years, but not necessarily to the same people.
Yeah, 20 years, not to the same people, but nonetheless 20 years.
Yes.
It screams failure right from the get-go. It's like this woman's had some problems.
So, why would you share your biggest failures with
the world?
Yes.
Okay, 2 reasons. 1, I wrote a screenplay and I was calling a recommended Hollywood attorney to represent me, and he said, no, you're no one, you don't know anyone, you don't have any money. And I started sniffling and said that made me sad. And so he said, okay, I'll give you some free advice. You have to get on the map. You have to write a book or a blog.
Now, were you wanting to write the book more
No.
as a comedy? I mean, like, what were you trying to do with this person?
Oh, I wanted him to represent me
your
to sell a
screenplay.
screenplay in Hollywood,
Okay.
which is not, it's a whole different, they're not the same thing.
Okay.
And so he said, and so when he said you have to write a book, then he hung up on me, and I said immediately, I'm not even kidding you, immediately I was like, I have had a lot of failures. And that's how that started. And so, and then the second reason is we have 4 kids, 3 girls, and they are riddled with fear and life of failure.
Yes.
And even it impacts what class they'll take because they're scared, oh, I might get a B. And that's ridiculous. And everybody fails and everybody has shame about that, but I don't know about you, and you usually attract the kind of person that you are.
Yes.
And so I am the kind of person that will tell you my deepest, darkest, most embarrassing secret.
Yes.
And I love it when
Yes.
people tell me their most deepest, darkest, embarrassing.
Because that's how women bond.
Because that's how women bond. It's so authentic.
Yes.
And so when I go to dinner with someone and they just are like talking about the weather, like my stoic German grandmother, I'm like, we're not going to be friends.
Right.
Because
I got to get into the dirt.
I got to get into there. And invariably, if you tell your most embarrassing moments, really, like if you say, you know, I fell down 2 flights of steps at work, 50 people looking down, and my skirt rolled up. You could see my underwear.
Can we show the back of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
This is Amy with
That's Amy's photoshopped butt. My real butt doesn't look that nice.
but her dress is tucked into her into
Her, into her Spanx.
into your Spanx.
It's
I
my
love
Spanx.
that.
Thank you,
and
Sarah Blakely.
I don't know, but I've had moments like this, so I
yes!
relate to this so much.
Okay, but imagine it's my skirt has rolled up the front and my leg is under me, you know, and I have panties on that say, Happy Buns, and they have cheeseburgers.
No, you're kidding.
No, and it was summer, so I just had thigh highs, and so when I told somebody that story, they're like, oh yeah? But did you break your tooth? Like, you know what I mean? Like
They have a bigger story.
They have a better story.
Yes.
Or, my first husband asked me for a divorce. They're like, yeah? Did he have a family in Miami you didn't know about? You know what I mean? Like, it opens the door. And some people, you know, there's some painful stuff in there, but really it's just like being a mom and trying to do everything. And
Well, and you have to start. I think when you've gone through, you know, a certain point in your life, you just realize that life is so ridiculous.
right.
And
Or mundane. And so how are you going to make it fun?
yeah,
Yeah.
and you really start you're like, does this happen to other people?
I know, and so that's what I love about the book. Or people write the reviews, or they email me or text me or on Facebook or whatever, and they say, I feel so much more normal. I feel like I don't suck as much
Yes.
as I thought I did
Yes,
as a mom.
yes, yes.
And I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's so funny when people critique me. I always say, I'm open to failure. I'm open to mistake. So if you want to point something out on me, I'm
Right.
definitely a person to do that.
Right.
I don't mind. I'll take it. So you have okay. So the guy that you had the original talk with,
Right.
He is now
Representing me.
yeah.
Well, he's doing the paperwork. Yeah, so I have a person that Suzanne Gerva is her name. I love her, and she's making my film, and that's rolling out. We're starting on that. It's officially in development. She said I was allowed to say that it's in development.
Okay. And this is a movie you're doing.
It's a movie. It's the movie that I wrote before the screenplay.
Okay.
It's like a Bridesmaids meets Bad Moms, female-centric, very funny comedy, a lot of physical comedy. And so he is a person that is, he's basically handling the paperwork for that. So it's come full circle.
Look at that.
I'm like, I'm on the map.
Here's another thing you were talking about earlier that people ask you a lot how you get on shows,
Right.
On like talk shows and things like that. So how do you do that?
Right. So if you're starting out, I was a mom. You're a real actor. My acting job is in front of 200 second graders every week at church. Like,
Yes.
last week I was Moses. You never know. Sometimes I'm a donkey. But, I don't have a SAG card or anything. But if you write something or you're creative, you write them or you call them. You call the producer of a television show and you say, hey, this is who I am. Would your viewers be interested in this? And the same for you write the magazine articles or the magazine editors and or call them. That's all you do. And if some of them say yes and some of them say no. But your pitch should not be about you. Your pitch should be, hey, I think your viewers might like this.
Right.
Or does this go in line with your
It's the same thing for an actor. That's what I tell my students. You've got to stop thinking, do they like me? Do they like me? You have something to offer them, and you have to convince them that what you have is good enough. I mean, you're selling your product, the character that you made, and what your art, and
Right.
it's the same thing.
And sometimes you're not a fit. I mean, my story is probably not a fit for a men's magazine. They don't want to read about a mom of 4 falling down the steps,
Right.
showing her underwear. They don't. Maybe the last part of it, but they don't want to see the rest of it. And so I don't call men's magazines. I
Right.
call women's magazines.
Right.
And the women of Atlanta have been so supportive. You're supportive. Christine Palera from Atlanta Company, she's so nice. Like Suzanne Pacey of Northside Magazine, like Heather Brown of Points North Magazine. Like those are women, and they have been so supportive to share my story in Atlanta. So I just
and you
feel
have
so lucky.
a great personality and just
Thank
a
you.
light about you. So I think
Oh,
that attracts
thanks.
people.
But
You're
a lot of
welcome.
darkness too.
Yeah, a lot of dark. Hey, that brings forth the light.
right.
You can't shine without the darkness. So I brought you some M&Ms.
I love this part of the show. Do you know why I love it?
Why?
I always guess what you're going to give people or what people want. Because Kelly asks what you want.
Yes.
She asked before. And so the other day I was watching your show and you had this very large, kind of like a stuntman type guy. He also owned an insurance company.
Yes, John.
Yes. And so I was trying to guess. I'm like, he's going to want Twizzlers. And he didn't. He wanted peppermints. And so I always try to guess.
John may have been one. I can't remember what his thing. If it was it peppermints?
He wanted it was weird because he's so big and then he had peppermints. I was
Well,
like,
he
it's
may
like
not have told me what he wanted.
So you gave him
because
that?
every once in a while I forget or I don't get so they get
Right.
they
I don't
get the
know.
leftover of
of course,
somebody.
your kids' Halloween. Well, I don't know why it struck me as funny. It was like a giant man with a Yorkie. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, really? Did he want the peppermints? But now that makes. Oh, I brought you a present.
Oh. Da, da, da.
It's for your desk. When I watch the show,
Oh my goodness, yes, that is so perfect.
we share a lot. I thought that you would get a kick out of that.
It's the smallest plant in the world, ladies and gentlemen. And it's aloe vera? Is it an aloe vera?
It's a prosthetic succulent.
It's not even real.
That you cannot kill that plant, Kelly. You cannot kill it.
This is the best present. Sorry, guys. Whoever's bought me presents before, this is the best one. So,
thought you would
Amy,
love
if
that.
you have some advice to give to
Writers
you,
or
you kind of covered some things about if you want to be on a talk show,
Right.
but some advice you can give to somebody who's wanting to share their story, who's wanting to get out there.
Sure. I would encourage you to start writing, write every day. And there's such a demand for content now. And same for the film. You don't have to sell your film to Paramount anymore. You can sell your film to Netflix. You can sell your film to
Yes.
HBO or ABC or Amazon or whatever. So it's the same. There's an insatiable amount of need for content on blogs, or most magazines now also have a digital version. And so I would encourage people to write a writing sample, maybe 350 words, and submit it to start out local, submit it locally and get some traction with that. And then you can submit those to something bigger and start growing. And if you have an idea for a book, start writing it.
Yeah,
And
I
write-
really think that we've moved into the time for the artist, because
so.
we have so much technology. So
And the
many
time for
things.
women.
Time for women.
Time.
Yes.
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 More
Take
than
that, failure.
More than ever, this is an exciting time for women in film.
Yes, yes, it is. Well, thank you so much for being with us.
you for
I appreciate
having
it.
me.
Thank you for making me laugh.
Fun. I'm taking these.
Where can they find you, Amy?
Oh, they can find me at amylyle.me, like www.amylyle.me is my webpage. And then my Facebook page is the same, amylyle.me.
And one of the best sellers on Amazon.
Bestseller
so
on Amazon?
Look it up.
Yeah.
Book of Failures by Amy Lyle. You have Amy.
Amy Vinegar Chemist Lyle. I want it.
That's all your last name.
The book screams. She's had some problems.
I love it. Thank you guys for being here today. Leave a comment for Amy. She'll come on and correspond with you. Push like, and we hope we inspired you and educated you.